my providential arrangement, in a few moments I palpably perceived many lifetimes of illusion at once being lifted from my whole being. The experience was both vivid and startling. Profound gratitude in waves filled my heart again and again. I knew then and there that I was deeply indebted to you, to the reciprocate somehow with you and assist you in your mission.
Oh, beloved guide, open these clouded eyes of mine. Pour your cooling water words, 'cause my mind's been burning, 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 burning. Oh, beloved guide, a drop is all I ask, a grace you freely give. I'll make it last, accept me as your own, 'cause I'm trying to find my way home. All together. Beloved guide, help me find humility, strength and joy and peace. I'll find strength and joy, strength and joy, strength and joy, being small. Beloved guide, help me tolerate the tides, tolerate the heat and cold. I don't want to, I won't waste time. Please help me fill the gaps with gold.
Krishna Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare.
Recording in progress.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Recording stopped.
Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna, Krishna Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Srila Prabhupada. Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Jai Jai Prabhupada. Prabhupada, Jai Jai Prabhupada. Prabhupada, Jai Jai Prabhupada. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Prabhupada, Jai Prabhupada. Jai Prabhupada, Jai Prabhupada, Jai Prabhupada, Jai Prabhupada. Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada. Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada. Shri Guru Charana Padma Kevala Bhakati Sadma. Shri Guru Charana Padma Kevala Bhakati Sadma. Bando moi savadana mate. Jahara prasad bhai e bhavato riya jai. Krishna prapti hoy jaha hote. Guru mukha padma vakya chitte te koriya kya. Arona kori ho mane asha. She utama gati. She utama gati. जय प्रसादे पूरे सर्व आशा. चक्षुदान दिलो जय जन्मे जन्मे प्रभु से. चक्षुदान ज्ञान दिलो जय जन्मे जन्मे प्रभु से दिव्य ज्ञान होते प्रकाशित प्रेम भक्ति जहाँ होते अविद्या विनाश जाते वेद गाय जहाँ चरित श्री गुरु करुणा सिंधु अधम जनारा बंधु लोकनाथ लोकेरा शिवाना लोकेरा शिवाना शुक्ति भवाना पतिता भवाना प्रभु पदा जय प्रभु पदा नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्ण पृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्ति वेदांता स्वामी नित्य नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यादेशतारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य शिवासादि गौर भक्त वृंदा जय गौर भक्त वृंदा जय गौर भक्त वृंदा हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम राम हरे 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 Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jai Prabhupada, Jai Prabhupada, Jai Prabhupada, Jai Prabhupada. Jai Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Jai Prabhupada. Jai Gurudev, Jai Gurudev. Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Gaura Hari Bol. Gaura Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Gaura Hari Bol. Nitai Gaura Premanande, Srila Prabhupada Ki, Srila Romapada Swami Maharaj Ki. Hare Krishna. Welcome to Srila Romapada Maharaj's 75th Vyasa Puja celebrations. My name is Uma Devi Dasi, and I am honored to be your MC today. This year, we celebrate a remarkable milestone in the life of Romapada Maharaj. 75 years, 3/4 of a century. Our occasion is also extra special because we have the association of many wonderful Vaishnavas today. I'd like to acknowledge the presence of His Holiness Chandrasekhar Maharaj. And he's coming all the way from the lotus feet of Shishi Radha Govinda in Brooklyn, New York. We also have with us His Grace Shyamasundar Prabhu, coming from Houston, Texas. And we have with us Her Grace Arudha Mata who's local to our Naperville community. We also have with us our very beloved Jitendra Prabhu. We also have a large number of early disciples of Romapada Maharaj with us today. And I'm going to make sure I don't forget anybody. We have with us, of course, Her Grace Krishna Archana Mata and His Grace Subal Prabhu. We also have His Grace Sharad Bihari Prabhu. He's also visiting us from Brooklyn, and he's been Shishirada Govinda's Pujari for over 3 decades. And we have Her Grace Mathura Vilasini Devi Dasi. And of course, we have our very dear Premananda Mata and Himangi Mata. And we also have His Grace Nityananda Pran Prabhu with us. Thank you all for being here with us today. It is incredible to reflect on a journey that began in 1986 when Romapada Maharaj's very first Vyasa Puja celebrations took place in the Greenwich Village Preaching Center. And I recently had the opportunity to speak with Danishta Mata. She's also an early disciple of Maharaj's, and she was sharing some nostalgic memories from organizing the Vyasa Puja festivals in those days. Her service was to collect the offerings. And yes, even at that time, there were always some last-minute submissions. And she would get together with Her Grace Giri Govardhan Mata, who was Maharaj's secretary for some years. And together, the night before the festival, they would compile this Vyasa Puja book. It was a very beautiful, simple paper booklet, and it was filled with the offerings, and they tried to add 1 or 2 photos. And the cover was a beautiful hand-drawn design with beautiful calligraphy on it. Danishta Mata also shared that Urugaya Prabhu, another early disciple, along with Subal Prabhu, they would cook up, oh, here you go. The very first Vyasa Puja book. So Subal Prabhu and Urugaya Prabhu would cook up astounding feasts, absolutely astounding feasts for the festival. And I heard that one of Urugaya Prabhu's secrets to his success was that he insisted on having the vegetables cut to a very precise measurement. So all the devotees were engaged in various ways to prepare for the festival. Excuse me. And here we are today. You know, perhaps a few more devotees involved in the organizing, a slightly larger gathering, and 3 TV screens. Yet, we are assembled for the very same purpose that the devotees had assembled 38 years ago, and that is to say thank you. And not just say thank you, but to say thank you with feeling from the depths of our hearts. And in thanking Srila Romapada Maharaj, we thank and appreciate the entire disciplic succession. I want to make one announcement. At the beginning of the Udupi Yatra last year, Maharaj made some very powerful statements in regards to staying focused, and I'd like to repeat those here. Quote, "One of the symptoms of this age through technology is distraction. There are abundant resources to ensure that you will be distracted. It is effortlessly easy to be distracted." End quote. So kindly silence your devices and store them away, unless you absolutely cannot. And let's focus on the sound vibrations that will arise here today in this very rare and loving association of all the assembled devotees. Srila Romapada Swami Maharaj ki jai. I'd like to invite Romapada Maharaj, if he would like to, kindly address us at this time.
And she was reluctant to be the MC. So there. You're on for next year. Hearing, because I wasn't thinking so much 75th anything, but because I'm hearing it again and again, that may have something to do with why I selected the theme that I selected. And older generation persons, I think, conscientious ones, are naturally concerned about succession. I remember the 50th anniversary of ISKCON, and one of the articles was the fading Acharya. Remember that one? I couldn't find the image. Prabhupada then faded, and then faded, and then faded, and kind of hard to distinguish through the generations. One of the things that I very much appreciate about the 6 Goswamis of Vrindavan was that they ensured that the gift of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu wouldn't fade. Starting with Rupa Goswami. Now, one of the gifts of Rupa Goswami was that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu thoroughly instructed him, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu empowered him to understand everything that he taught, and he empowered him to write. And so he did. And he, Rupa Goswami, had a nephew named Jiva Goswami, who he thoroughly instructed and empowered him to write, and he did. So that means too, it could have faded. And it wasn't just Rupa Goswami, all the associates closely in connection with Rupa Goswami and all of the other wonderful Vaishnavas continued that legacy going forward, and then Jiva Goswami taught the next generation, the 3 students that he accepted, and thoroughly instructed, and then, along with other things, he made a point to have all the writings of the Goswamis preserved and hand copied, because there was no printing press, and so forth. The legacy was preserved by conscious deliberation. And then going forward in time as well. And as we know, number of stalwart acharyas, there were times where there were several generations where it wasn't so particularly prominent. Many of you know the list that we have of our disciplic succession comes from Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, and there's gaps of time because there wasn't a superlatively prominent acharya, but there were always acharyas. The superlatively prominent ones are ones that did the writing, but the tradition was carried on. And Bhaktivinoda Thakur rescued the mission. There's much history about what the British had done to denigrate everything that's of Indian origin, and it was effective. Their propaganda machine was very effective. Without going into all the history, Bhaktivinoda Thakur, was greeted with a period of time that there was multiple deviated sampradayas, deviations from Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's teachings. He wrote a book on it, 13 different by name, and described what this one did, and that one did, and that one did, and that one did. And that was the atmosphere. Everything Indian is worthless, and those that had something that was worth something, they had deviated. So there was a difficult time. Undaunted by the difficult time, he revived, passed it on, particularly to his son, to Prabhupada, and now unprecedented what Prabhupada did. The legacy of our founder Acharya is not just temples and deities and so forth and books, but a mood of pure devotional service. And he was, as in his own words, he would not compromise. He wouldn't hit people with a stick, but he wouldn't compromise either. Gentle persuasion, at the same time being very firm. And experts empowered by Krishna expert to do what he did. And all of that has been handed over, not only here in the United States, but all over the world. And a person like me, 75 years by material age, have concern that the legacy continues. And I, like some of you, have detected there are signs that are worrisome. So I've tried to point to some of them. And the exercise that was part of the idea of forwarding the legacy of our founder Acharya was to take, not all, because the mission of our founder Acharya was vast. And we don't have capacity to do all of what Prabhupada did, but my idea was at least, some number of persons, at least the persons that share that concern, at least, if you're hearing it from me, and so there must be some reason for that concern, to do something about it. The concern that the legacy not fade, but the legacy continue and move forward. We're not Prabhupada, we're not great acharyas, we're not of that caliber. But each of us has a role to play. And it's not that somebody upstairs, it's their role to play and I'm just a peon or something like that. We may be very tiny. That's not only humility, it's just a fact. We're quite tiny. I'll just share something. I was asked to make a recording about, how I decided to commit myself to serving Prabhupada, as I've done for some number of years. 54, 55 years, something like that. That's a long time to do something. But part of what I understood was, to some degree, I get it. And I'm very tiny. And I was thinking of Aesop's Fables story. You know the Aesop's Fables story? This young girl up here. You're sitting in the front row. You get picked on. Don't look at her, look at yourself. Not her, you. Do you know what the Aesop's Fable story is? The breaking of a stick? You know that one? You don't know that one. Would you like to learn one? It's a fable. To take one stick and break the stick, it's easy, but you take a bundle of sticks and tie them together, it's hard to break them. Similarly, one person alone, what can any one of us do? We're tiny. And by getting together with others that are tiny doesn't mean we stop being tiny, but our tininess is part of something that's much bigger than any one of us. My understanding is that one of the reasons that Prabhupada established the Sangha of Vaishnavas was so we could get strength from one another and be effective together, combinedly, to bring about a transformation of the impious lives of the people of this age of Kali. And who are we? We're also backgrounds that are in different degrees of misdirected or worse, or somewhere in between. And that's it's our collective backgrounds. Now, what are we supposed to do? Work cooperatively. Maybe some of you heard, this is Tamal Krishna Maharaj, I think Shamsundar, you shared this one with me. Prabhupada's departure stage. Prabhupada's on his bed, emaciated, etc., preparing to leave his body, and Tamal Krishna Maharaj practically with tears saying, Prabhupada, the devotees love you so much. Then their love for me will be shown by how much they cooperate with one another after I have departed. That's the bundle of sticks. Now we're all influenced by Kali Yuga. It's not like one part of the world or another part of the world is more influenced by Kali Yuga than another. Maybe it's so. But America has a certain flavor. Independence. Life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. It's our inalienable right. And we're very independent-minded, Americans. I mean, we can work cooperatively to some degree, but we're very independent, even with that. And here we are. And I'm appealing that we preserve the legacy of our founder Acharya, which means that material sense of independence has to be properly reposed and become spiritualized. Independently, I choose to carry forward the legacy of our founder Acharya. And I've tried to indicate some of the characteristics of that so far too. Purity and with qualities or character or substance, and we're unrefined as we are. And we're working with people who are like us also, unrefined, uncultured, not fully spiritualized. You could even say, to a degree, uncivilized, or Kali Yuga-ized at least, and to work cooperatively, like a bundle of sticks. And work cooperatively with one another as a display of our love for our founder Acharya. So we've all been recipients of a wonderful gift. That's the legacy. That's the meaning of this word, the import of this word, legacy. Something of value that's been handed on from generation to generation and just somehow handed to us. Not by birth, but by Sangha, by the compassion of our founder Acharya. Wonderful gift. There's one devotee I know that repeats a lot, some phrase that I say commonly. Gratitude is the seed of love. You've heard that one? If you haven't, now you have. Gratitude is the seed of love. Gratitude can be with a sense of obligation and duty. Love is on another platform than obligation and duty. But it's a seed. It's a little bit like the question this morning that Uma's raising about goodness. Gratitude is goodness. According to Ramayana, it's Sanatana Dharma. The eternal occupation, or the eternal constitutional activity of the soul is gratitude, and its absence is ingratitude. Anyway, I felt gratitude that Prabhupada had given me relief from, who knows, years, lifetimes, whatever, and relief from materialistic life, which I was eager to find, and now not just relief from it, but the real thing. Now, gratitude is a seed, but when you cultivate that seed, what does it grow into? If it matures, it becomes love. It doesn't have to. Seeds don't always grow into maturity, but if they're properly cultivated, which was the message of the morning class, we have to cultivate character, and gratitude is one of those qualities. And you grow it and grow it and cultivate it. It's natural. It's intrinsic to the soul is Krishna prema, nitya siddha Krishna prema, sajjakavunoi, shavanadi shuddha chitte karayeyudoi. It's natural for us. It's natural for us because it's already there, but covered. Gratitude is a seed of love. There's that very nice section in Brihat Bhagavatamrita that I like very much and speak about it from time to time. As you know, Brihat Bhagavatamrita has two parts, and the second part is the Gopakumar part, and Gopakumar gets a mantra. He isn't told the meaning of the mantra. He doesn't even know his guru's name until he finds out later what his name is. But he just had attraction for his quality, character, and he requested him, and he was given a mantra. Diksha. Mantra Diksha. One of the mantras that we receive at the time of Brahminical initiation. He just had faith in the Guru, and thus the faith in the mantra, and he chanted the mantra. And by chanting of the mantra, what happened? His original Krishna consciousness became revitalized. And the way that Sanatana Goswami has composed this book, he then was transported by the mantra to different higher lokas. And when he went to Tapaloka is within the upper 7 planetary systems. Tapaloka is a place where celibates only, grahastas in the stage of achieving perfection, they're in the lokas just below. Brahmacharis and celibates only. And their occupation or their thing is meditation. And so he goes to Tapaloka and he sees them meditating, and they don't say anything because they're meditating. Just absorb. Many nice things happen. So one of them welcome. Welcome to Tapaloka. Come in. Join us. We'll teach you how to meditate. And, he's attracted to their quality, and he's attracted to the process, and so he engages in meditation, and he never stops chanting this mantra. And then they have this whole discussion about, why are you chanting this mantra anyways? The mantra is so that you can see the Supreme Lord, but we see the Supreme Lord in our meditation. We don't have to do mantra meditation. We just do this kind. And he became attracted to what they had to say and to the process. It was a very elevated process. And then there's a very nice statement. All of this is the preamble to this very nice statement. He said, I know that I've received something very wonderful from my Guru, and that's this mantra. And I would be guilty of ingratitude if I did not experience the fullness of what this gift is. The gratitude is part, but it's not sufficient until I experience the fullness of what this mantra is and what it is meant to give one. So he gets there, but there's a pause in between. They were actually encouraging him, the Tapaloka folks were encouraging him, you don't need to do this chanting anymore, because you're at the place where you can see the Supreme always within your heart. What more could you want? But he didn't give it up. And then it wasn't just seeing the Lord in his heart, but he went to Goloka Vrindavan and he saw Krishna and he fainted, and Krishna picked him up and embraced him. Now, it's not history, it's a Brihat Bhagavatamrita, is a commentary on Srimad Bhagavatam. But the point is, gratitude is the beginning, and when cultivated properly, it becomes love. And to carry forward the legacy of our founder Acharya means to come to that stage. It's a mature stage. We're not there yet. We're somewhere, but not there yet. And so the legacy breakout session activity is to take what I thought would be just, it's not the totality of what the legacy that we've been given, but some of the key elements. I didn't hit them all. Some suggestions were made just this morning. How about some additional ones? We've already made our plan. So if you have not identified which of the breakout session groups you'd like to participate in, Sri Jamuna Jivana, it'll help you out. But the idea is, over the next few months, your little breakout group having a facilitator, have some discussion whereby some things that we, as myself as an individual and some of the members of our little discussion group could do to further this particular slice of the pie, this particular branch of our founder Acharya's legacy, and practically bring it further internal and cultivate it in the association of others externally. Practical application. You've heard Prabhupada's phrase, jnana vijnana. Jnana means theoretical, okay, and then practical application, vijnana, and the realization, the experience that comes from that. And that's one of the ways of helping to further the legacy of our founder Acharya. That's the intention behind coming attractions. 4 to 6 p.m. today. Now, who's our timekeeper? Have till when? Noon. Really? Okay, I could blabber much more. But there were some questions because the morning class was getting a little tight, and so we ended. Some persons came to me after class with some points from the morning class that they wanted to discuss. And so perhaps we can do some of that right now until noon? As I like. Okay, let's do that. Let me know when the 12 o'clock bell rings, if not before. So who came up afterwards and wanted, or who from the morning session or even now or whatever, some discussion, because often the discussion is more revealing than the rest. Yes.
Hare Krishna, Guru Maharaj. From the morning class, Guru Maharaj, I I had a reflection and I wanted to share is that all the qualities or the character that we want in our all the qualities as a devotee we would like in our character are actually the qualities of the soul. And when we chant and when we hear, the mirror of our heart gets polished, and slowly, slowly, when we are able to see our true self as the spirit soul, then I was thinking that those qualities start to manifest or become, or means they start to manifest in our lives. So Guru Maharaj, I was thinking as a devotee, is it true that our focus should be in the process of hearing, chanting, and associating with Vaishnavas and service of Vaishnavas, and these qualities that are inherent to the soul will slowly manifest as we become more situated in our devotional services and in the practice of hearing and chanting?
A qualified yes. And the qualified part of the yes is, and knowing that because of knowledge of the Shastra and because of the mode of goodness tendency to be introspective, and because of the quality of humility, we can see particularly, I may be a little stronger in this and a little weaker in that area, and so we consciously cultivate where we're not so strong. So that's just an added or an addendum to what you said. The naturally, as opposed to automatically, requires a deliberate cultivation, especially in areas where we're not so strong, or there's some weakness. Sometimes not. And the purpose of that, while doing that, is that Krishna should be pleased. Not separately. All right?
Yes. Thank you, Guru Maharaj.
Hare Krishna Maharaj. You were sharing how gratitude kept you serving Srila Prabhupada for so many years. And so as I was reflecting, the gratitude in my life is kind of like temporary. Like I have bursts of intense gratitude and then it slowly fizzles away. So is there anything you can, like how do you get your gratitude to become more powerful? Or
Well, one way to answer your question is, how do you move from anishtata to nishtha? From unsteady to steady. And the obstacle to steadiness is anarthas. So our business is not to become anartha conscious. Our business is to become Krishna conscious. And by the hearing and chanting, and hearing and chanting, and hearing and chanting. When we have our japa retreats, you experienced one at the Festival of the Holy Name. Where'd you go? There you are, okay. We sing at the end, for the Sunday feast class, we sing Kevalastikam. And then the speakers speak on one of the 7. And Shyamasundar always speaks on number 7. Say it. Diyatam, diyatam karno. So, say it again and say it again, hear it again, hear it again. So the repetition of hearing and chanting and remembering of the transcendental sound brings about the steadiness. That is, your eradication of the unwanted and the anarthas and the awakening of our true self. Similar to the question before yours. So steadiness comes when anarthas are diminished, and it's gradual. Madhurya Kandamani discusses it, so you can look in that chapter 3, I think it is. And there, there's a sequence to it all. But aside from the detail, the principle is stay with the process of hearing and chanting with faith, qualitatively engaging oneself with faith. Faith is the operative factor. With faith. So it's not that you're a faithless person, but you're unsteady. Welcome to the club. You're not alone. Sometimes and sometimes. Now, as you in this lifetime become dedicated with sincerity of application of the process, that unsteadiness will become diminished and steadiness will become more prominent. And who knows how long it'll take to become fully steady. However long it takes, that's how long it takes. And just stay with the process faithfully in good association, which you have. So stay with the process. Krishna will help you. He doesn't interfere with our independence, our free will independence, but he'll assist you. Just show him that that's what you really want. And mean it. Not cosmetic, but mean it. So that's the sincerity part. Then comes the question, okay, now how do I become sincere? Prabhupada's answer, I like Prabhupada's answer. How do you become sincere? By being sincere. Everybody knows what sincerity is. Be sincere. You mean it. So this is the heart connection. And then you can go to the negative and, do you really like it? The life of sense gratification. Is it really, enjoyable? Or does it appear to be enjoyable and it's a sucker punch? And then you get hit in the solar plexus and you fold. So recognize what material life is, even the kind that may seem like that's fun, or that's like okay, or just the quicksand of material existence. You put your toe in, the next thing your foot's in, next thing your leg's in, next thing you're in, and you're calling out for help. So beware of the principle of being an enjoyer, separate from Krishna. So you say no to Maya and say yes to Krishna, sincerely. And if it's intermittent because of unsteadiness, because of the anarthas in the heart, if you're introspective and you see that anartha is raising its ugly head again, you say no. It doesn't mean that you say no once and that's it forever, but you just keep saying no to Maya and saying yes to Krishna. Make the yes to Krishna particularly strong. And it makes saying the no to Maya strengthened. That's the horse before the cart. And Krishna, you continue to do like that, Krishna will help you. Even if you're not so strong, Krishna will give you strength. So his strength plus your strength, you're in good shape. Keep going. In the way in the back, there was a question. Whoops, you have one. You have the phone, microphone? In the way in the back, put your hand up. Do we have two microphones?
Hare Krishna, Guru Maharaj. This is a kind of reflection more than a question. In the morning class, Guru Maharaj, you showed a quote, Prabhupada's quote. It has 3 points. One was the transcendental qualities always present. Number 2 was it has to be cultivated.
Yes.
Number 3rd one was really stuck with me because it said that we have to give up all our designations in order for the transcendental qualities to manifest. So that I felt like it's a lifetime work, more than lifetime work.
Welcome. Are you ready? If you say no, that's a choice. If you say yes, that's a choice.
Yes, Guru.
You're going to live your lifetime this way or that way, so give your lifetime to this way instead of that way. Instead of saying no to Krishna, or it's too much trouble, or it's going to take too long, or boo-hoo, or something like that. Why doesn't Krishna make it easy? Why is Krishna so demanding? Sarvadharmam prityaja mam ekam sharanam vraja. Why is Krishna being so demanding? It's too much. Dr. Radhakrishna, in his Bhagavad Gita commentary, said it's too much. I didn't read it. Prabhupada said it many times. It's not too much. One lifetime. And how many lifetimes have we been in La La Land doing La La Land stuff? So now is an opportunity. Say yes to Krishna. And the statement you repeated, supposing it takes many lifetimes, it's permanent. Any progress you make is permanent. There's no backslide. You can become, again, forgetful, but the progress is never lost. It's still there, and you resume and you're back to where you left off. That's because it's eternal. Okay?
Can I ask one more question, Guru Maharaj, from morning class? Maharaj mentioned 3 things about the impact of excellent character. One was it can be for our own attainment, upliftment. Number 2, it can be for devotee communities.
Yeah.
Number 3rd one was to attract other souls.
Yes.
So when we try to cultivate, we can have one of these, but to me it looks like if we try to do that, it all happens at once, right, Guru Maharaj? It don't have to be.
But those are like either this or that. It was giving emphasis to how important it is. That's all.
That's all. Thank you, Guru Maharaj.
Okay, up front again. Oh, okay. Okay. Go ahead. Advaita Chandra.
Guru Maharaj, regarding this topic of legacy.
Too loud.
Is it okay now?
A little better.
Okay. Regarding the topic of legacy, I've been having some discussions with a group of devotees, and one of the things I'm noticing is there's a lack of sense of belonging, say, in certain activities or events like this, where there's not that inclusiveness necessarily, where people are involved, devotees are consulted or engaged. So when there is that lack of sense of belonging, I'm seeing that it becomes harder to further the legacy because devotees don't feel part of it. And I can think of other examples as well. So, for example, devotees that want to pursue certain ideas or ideologies, one of those may be pushed forward more than others. And naturally, one group of devotees feels like, okay, now where is my place in the society? Could you please comment on how can we help devotees devotees have that sense of belonging and be more inclusive, even when there are different ideologies or ideas, given that we're all different, we are diverse. Could you comment on that a little bit?
Your question is important. Your question is also very broad.
Very broad.
Broad. Because you touched on a number of, for example.
Would you like me to be more specific?
No, I'd just like to comment on what your question was.
Okay.
Because one of the things was, like events like this, why don't you have a little side conversation with Nitya Priya and ask her, what was your thought process about inclusiveness? And maybe you can make some suggestions, or maybe you'd like to do it yourself next year. And so it's more inclusive. But how broad does inclusive get when you're trying to have an event? Because there has to be some key people, and then key people can be rotated. I just nominated Uma for next year's MC. Now maybe somebody feels excluded. I haven't been asked to be the MC. I feel excluded. But that person, each of us has a role to play, and be happy with the role that we have to play. This is me. Most of the services that I had for several decades was somebody asked me, and I said yes. And somebody asked me that, and I said yes. And somebody asked me the other thing, and I said yes. Not like I was just saluting to the captain. It's just I was very happy with whatever the service was. And because of the service, so my recommendation for someone who's feeling not included, maybe you're speaking to others, I don't know the source, I don't need to know. But if the mood of service, humble service is there, you're included. Because whatever it is, that's your role to play. I was thinking about it, in relation to my 75th years and so forth. Each thing was just, like I joined the Boston Temple. That was my choice. And after that, I was asked to go to New York. And I did New York? I held my nose, New York. But I went to New York. Because part of the thing that was go to Boston was ISKCON Press was in Boston. And they're very, very senior devotees. They were part of ISKCON Press, senior most. And what happened was they shifted to New York. And so forth and so on. I started, that was the temple commander. Then I was the temple commander and Sankirtan leader. Then I was the Sankirtan leader. And then I was requested to get in a bus and go traveling. Then I was requested to be the temple president. Then I was requested to become the regional secretary. Just one service after the next, and to stop being the regional secretary and go do some firefighting thing, and then the next thing, and then the next thing, and then the next thing. I was included because of the mood of service. So I would recommend to someone, whoever that someone is, that's feeling not included, look inside. This is Bhakti Siddhanta. If you find fault in others, Bhakti Siddhanta, rather than find fault in others, look inside and you will find your heart is honeycombed with the same fault. Meaning, if you didn't have that fault, you wouldn't be seeing it. If you had the Uttama Adhikari position, you wouldn't see fault. But if I see fault and it's disturbing to me, or I feel excluded or whatever, some emotion, it's because that's something inside. So therefore, he says, the next paragraph, look inside and make your own heart pure. That's the Acharya principle. So I'm saying to the person who feels not included, go to the Acharya principle. Where is it that I can be a better example of that which I would like others to be? It's, it's the golden rule. As many of you know what the golden rule is. Do unto others. And all religions, I studied this one time, it's like all religions, all spiritual teachings, not just religions, have that principle embedded in there. Be that which you'd like others to be unto you. It's said in different ways. So that's what I would say to the person that doesn't feel included. Look inside. Where is that tendency within me, rather than there's that tendency within him or her or others or something. Don't be like that. Be like what you want the world to be. Have a service mood that's just happy to be in whatever service position is being asked of me. No, I still have the option of saying no, thank you, but not to feel excluded. That would be my advice to such a person. Look within and make one's own heart pure and the example of that which you'd like the world to be. And there's a way to give feedback. If you feel that, if not necessarily you, if others feel that feeling, there's a way to give feedback rather than sit on the sidelines or go the other direction or whine and complain or fault find or any one of those options. There's many other options, wholesome feedback communications.
So can I just have a follow-up on that?
Sure.
So
this affects all of us. This is on the theme of furthering the mission, furthering the legacy.
right. So you made a few recommendations on what one could do. Is it okay to if after repeated attempts, if you're still not feeling included, what is your advice to further the legacy? Is it more around that going internal, create something on your own? That's
not necessarily. Not necessarily on my own, but that which conforms with what you understand the gift of our founder Acharya was, and you do that. I mean, here's some Prabhupada examples to help us understand how we can do by his example. He was denigrated. He was respected by many and denigrated by others because he's a householder and da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Because there are people that weren't understanding him, and there were those that did. He was undaunted. He just kept moving. And obstacles, and using the phrase, not feeling included. When Bhaktisiddhanta, for example, Bhaktisiddhanta had several publications, one in Bengali, one in English, one in Hindi. And he was invited to be editors on those because he was a good writer. And he did so, but it was discouraging because, for the different reasons, without the history, that he simultaneously began Back to Godhead magazine. He wasn't doing it so I'll one-up you and do a better magazine than you guys. It wasn't like that. It was part of Bhaktisiddhanta's mission and example, many publications. So he added another one. I was going to make a comment, and I'll make it now. For example, one of the inclusiveness, one of the things that Prabhupada wanted during his presence, in addition to reviving Back to Godhead magazine, so he established a Back to Godhead magazine group, and then he guided what would be qualified to be articles, and only one of his articles per magazine, and he wanted others to write for Back to Godhead magazine. Now, maybe there are some persons in this room that don't feel included, but Founder Acharya wanted. Now, one can start their own magazine, but another way is to just write articles for Back to Godhead magazine. There's one person in this room that, without being asked to do so, weren't feeling included. They just did so. They wrote several Back to Godhead magazine articles, something that our Founder Acharya wanted. He wanted us to write, because when you write and you teach, it increases your realization. He wanted us to hone our skill. Now, it can take this shape, that shape, or another shape, that's okay. Be in alignment with the legacy of our Founder Acharya. And you don't have to go off and start something else. Prabhupada started a separate organization besides the Gaudiya Math, ISKCON. And even when he was in India, it was League of Devotees. And it wasn't to snub his nose at Gaudiya Math or disregard Bhaktisiddhanta. You follow? And you have to be a qualified person to discern when is it rebelliousness and when is it in alignment. That's, it takes some intelligence and some guidance from those qualified persons to reassure you or realign you if you need realignment. So keep good association with wholesome persons that are in fact in alignment with our Founder Acharya and his legacy. And there's room for diversity. But there's unity in diversity. That was my response to that. Somebody else? Somebody else had their hand up. You finally got called on.
Hare Krishna, Guru Maharaj. Guru Maharaj, one thing first I want to appreciate is that you joined Boston Temple, and then it's been at least 20 years that I know that you have been consistently coming to Boston like twice a year at least. And COVID...
That's because you and your husband are there.
Thank you, Guru Maharaj. It sustains our life, Maharaj, there in Boston. Thank you. My question...
Some people say I travel too much.
Guru Maharaj, reflecting on the class in the morning about...
I can't please everybody. You don't come enough to our place. To that I say, my elasticity is limited. No, go ahead. I'm sorry, you interrupted.
Thank you, Guru Maharaj. So, reflecting on the morning class about purity and connecting it to like all the activities one does to please Krishna. So, I was thinking that there are two things. One is to decide what service or what activity to do, and second is how to do it.
Yes.
And I was thinking about Arjuna.
There's a third thing. The consciousness that you carry as you're doing.
Yes, Maharaj.
Small matter. Go ahead.
So, like for Battle of Kurukshetra, Arjuna was, his what part of what activity to do, like whether to fight or not fight was unclear, and Krishna made that clear for him. And then Arjuna used all his skills that were given by Krishna and fully surcharged with intrinsic motivation to please Krishna carried out that, the fighting with 100% pleasing Krishna, 100% purity. So I was thinking, what part can be figured out much earlier, reflection on how to mold one life to serve Krishna. But the how part, as you said, the consciousness part, initially it starts very clearly to please Krishna, but as one carries out these the activity, it starts to
Get fuzzy.
Yes, and I want to give one example that I regularly face, like dressing the deities in the morning. So, and in the temple, there is, after chanting, having good consciousness, and even preparing oneself for doing that service, it comes to the time when the darshan has to open and I have to rush and things did not go as I had expected. So what is pleasing at that moment, like the rushness to finish it in timely manner, or I guess lost?
The answer to that one is our founder Acharya. And what did he say? You know what he said, so you follow what he said. Two things most important: cleanliness and punctuality. So what does that mean for you practically, given the question? As you're doing the service, if you find that this happens enough times that you're uncomfortable rushing at the end, so move along quickly at the beginning. Time management, that's all, and following for the purpose of keeping to the instruction. Because deity worship has vidhis. Looking at your husband to see if he's registering. And deity worship is important in many ways, and one of the ways is to help to regulate your life. There's this much time allotted for life. What goes in that? Use your time carefully, not rushed, but not dilly-dallying either. No complacency. What do you think?
Yes, Maharaj, I'm trying to evaluate a lot of other activities during the day where this losing of consciousness is...
And it's life. It's life. It's our life. You know, do it nicely and no more birth. Don't do it nicely and you know what? Punarjanma. You get another chance. It's okay. Never lost.
Thank you, Maharaj.
Okay. Yes.
Hare Krishna, Guru Maharaj. Thank you so much. This is so uplifting. Almost from the beginning of practicing Krishna consciousness, whenever I see you or any of Prabhupada's disciples, I used to wonder, what is it like, what is the driving? So I felt like I got an answer, that purity, as you were speaking last evening class. And one particular thing stuck for me, Guru Maharaj, is you mentioned, don't be complacent, then you'll go backwards. And you're almost appealing to us, don't go backwards. This may be something similar to Sundari Radha's question. I feel there are times when that intensity is there, really sincere desire, as you were expressing your gratitude for Srila Prabhupada and how it kept you going. I see that. But as time goes on, that intensity is there, I practice with that, and after some time, don't know, it just gets faded away. And of course, it needs some slap here and there by Krishna's mercy for me to realize and come back. So I was just thinking for your generation, that urgency and that very deep gratitude probably is not letting you be complacent, and that was the reason for your growth. If you would like to hear your comments on this, Guru Maharaj.
Thank you very much. It's not something that falls from the sky. It's exactly as it's something that's cultivated. It's on the one hand it's natural, and the other hand it's something that's cultivated. But gratitude that fades is something less than gratitude. It's a feeling, yes, but it's not. It's a reflection of the reflection. Real gratitude doesn't fade. In fact, real gratitude, when acted upon, it matures. And it's like the bhakti process. In course of time, following the anartha nivritti comes nishtha, then after nishtha becomes ruchi and asakti. It's just maturing of bhakti comes as a result. Faithfully, sincerely. It comes down to what's important to you. And if there's a mix, then that's what's going to take place. And if it's a relationship, it can be relationship with spiritual master or spiritual master and through the relationship of spiritual master, relationship with Krishna. There are different ways of defining what holds the greatest weight with what's important for someone. But when that target becomes a spiritual target, then it's not, complacency doesn't enter. That's a material tendency. There's no, it's light is stronger than darkness. I think it's time to end. It's 12 o'clock.
Hare Krishna. We now request Her Grace Krishna Archana Mata to kindly present the beautiful Vyasa Puja book to Maharaj. This is such a special book, filled with the outpouring of so many hearts of the lives of devotees that have been touched by Romapada Maharaj. And we thank Stira Mata and her fantastic and very patient team of devotees who worked on compiling the book for many months. Really done. Maharaj, if you would like, you're now welcome to read your offering to Srila Prabhupada.
Subal, I have one question for you. Did you save that Vyasa Puja book from so many years ago?
2000 and something.
So that's in your library somewhere.
I have everything.
Oh, I gotta take pictures. Okay, there we go.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Found the page.
Krishna, Hare Hare, Rama, Rama,
If Mukunda hadn't told me when there was Guru Puja for Srila Prabhupada, they're waiting for you to sit down. I didn't know until you sit down, the kirtan will keep going. So I thank Mukunda for letting me know the secret. And normally I would want to go pay obeisances before Prabhupada's Vyasa for two reasons. There's a lot of people here, and I broke my toe, and it takes a while to walk across the floor. So I'll just offer my obeisances from here. Namo Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prastaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Iti Namane Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisesha Sindhavadi Paschatya Desatari. Om Jnanatimirandasya Gyananjana Salakaya Chakshudan Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prastaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Iti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisesha Sindhavadi Paschatya Desatarine Mukham Karoti Vachalam Pangam Dagayate Garim Yat Kripatamaham Bande Vigurum. My dear and most respected spiritual master and eternal Father, please accept my most humble and respectful obeisances in the dust of your most merciful lotus feet. All glories to you, Srila Prabhupada. Years are passing quickly. Many of your stalwart leaders have already joined you, entering into some form of eternal service unto your lotus feet. In the coming decade, many additional senior disciples and followers will also be joining you somewhere, also assisting you as your eternal servants. That day is coming for all of us sooner or later. Quote, simply a change of service, that's all, as Kadamba Kanana Swami remarked. While reflecting on your gifts given so liberally to this dark world in creating and expanding ISKCON, what was the source of your strength? Unflinching faith in Guru, Nama Prabhu, and Srimad Bhagavatam are three sources of your indomitable spiritual strength that I would like to glorify here. Faith in Guru. Whenever you spoke of your Guru Maharaj, one could easily and palpably feel the strength of your firm dedication to him, displayed abundantly in your life's work. While fearlessly following his instruction to you to carry the teachings of Mahaprabhu to the English-speaking parts of the world, what was your essential message from the very beginning? Quote, I have simply come to remind you of that which you have forgotten. This message was repeated again and again and yet again. Your power to awaken conditioned souls to what they have forgotten continues. I experience it nearly every day in world. Quoting from Bhagavatam purport 428-47. The disciple and the spiritual master are never separated because the spiritual master always keeps company with the disciple as long as the disciple follows strictly the instructions of the spiritual master. This is called the association of vani, or words. Physical presence is called vapu. As long as the spiritual master is physically present, the disciple should serve the physical body of the spiritual master, and when the spiritual master is no longer physically existing, the disciple should serve the instructions of the spiritual master. From my early college days, I became acquainted with your Guru Maharaj, Srimad Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Goswami, through an article printed in an early Back to Godhead magazine, which was my first Krishna conscious literature. That article elevated me to an experience of consciousness I had never known before in my life. By divine arrangement, events occurred whereby my affinity for him substantially grew over the passage of time. However, when I read a letter you had written to Pradumna Prabhu, October 17, 1967, I became particularly motivated to deeply study Brahma Samhita and teach its message to others. So here's the letter to Pradumna. Brahma Samhita is the gist of Srimad Bhagavatam. In the Bhagavad Gita, as well as in the Srimad Bhagavatam, Krishna is accepted as the Supreme Lord, and everything about him is nicely described there. Similarly, in the Brahma Samhita, everything about Krishna is perfectly described. In the very beginning of the book, Krishna is accepted as the Supreme Lord, existing eternally in his transcendental form, and is the cause of all causes. One who reads Brahma Samhita very carefully and scrutinizingly can understand everything of Krishna without any fault. I recommend, therefore, that all my students read Brahma Samhita very carefully